And I do believe we are live, fellas.
Live.
Live and uncensored.
It's always uncensored right here.
Well, it's always something.
Yeah.
That's how we fucking roll.
It is.
You got to come out with the F word start, Richard. I mean, is that what this show's come down to?
It has.
Fucking A.
It's always been that way. All right.
It's a beautiful thing. And the show has been shared.
Nice.
Yes, it is nice. I lost something. I lost something. I lost it. I lost it. That was a very interesting moan there, Steve.
Oh, well, you know, I always groan and moan when it comes time to do this.
I mean, really?
Yes.
Is it that bad?
It is that bad.
Okay. All right.
Hey, we already got a thumbs up. That's nice.
Look at that. Yes. So this is episode 146 of the Fortean Slip. And we are going to revisit the Bigfoot portal phenomenon. And my microphone is being a pain in the ass. There.
Well, unpaint it. Or take it out of your ass or whatever is going on there. I don't know.
It's, you know, it is what it is.
It is.
So, and tonight we will be joined by a special guest. Richard, who will we be bringing on tonight?
We will be bringing on special guest Patrick Epistemon.
Uh-huh.
Patrick who?
Yeah, that's my whole point. Who is this man?
Oh, he's one of Johnson's chief lieutenants. Spin doctor for the good doctor.
To bring everybody up to speed on said doctor, whom I like to call Magic Johnson, this man believes that Bigfoot come through portals in the woods, and that he can help manipulate these portals to bring them through. But they're not really Bigfoot. They're orbs. Am I getting this right so far?
Let's not give any credence to it. Matthew Johnson claimed to have sucked Bigfoot orb tree people through a portal using a magnet. That is the long and short of it. Let's not try and give it any credibility at all.
Okay. Well, we need to get some answers. And that's why we have Patrick on tonight, to see if we can understand this situation better. Maybe he'll turn us into true believers.
Richard, were you able to get the link and get the link out into the various places?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live
all over the interweb.
Well, we are.
I'm not
live.
allowed to post it in the Squatchers Lounge anymore.
Oh, you're not? Oh no. Whoa. Let's back up a second here. You're not allowed?
Not. Yeah, it's a bit rude.
How is it rude?
You know, I don't like being put in the middle. You know that. I have mentioned this before.
You're the one that brought it up, not me.
I said, you asked if I'd posted it in the usual places. I said everywhere except one. I used a poor choice of words.
And you also used that you're not allowed.
Yeah, it was a poor choice of words. That's not what happened.
Steve, doesn't that make you inquisitive?
A little bit, but perhaps it's a topic for another show, maybe?
We should dedicate a whole show to that?
Well, I maybe not a whole show.
Well, you know that he'll just fucking sleep through that show, right?
He probably will.
I mean, that's my.
You know,
take
I
on it.
did wake up last week. I just got the time wrong.
Yeah, that's a good excuse.
Yes, I like that excuse. That works. Yeah. So Richard had told me, and you told me this before the last show, didn't you? Or right after the last show? I can't remember.
It was before.
Around the last show. No, before? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You had said
before.
that you had spoken to Mr. Epistemon and that he had wanted to come on. Why would he want to come on our show?
That is correct.
Yeah, our show of all shows. Why?
I don't know. He's interested in doing podcasts and, you know, obviously wants some experience.
So he decided
by coming on.
He decided to come on the shittiest podcast that he could find.
I was literally about to say that, yes, by coming on the worst podcast. Start at the bottom, work your way to the top, Chris.
He does understand. He has watched our show in the past, correct?
Yeah, he has. He's one of our biggest fans.
So he understands what's coming, right?
Well, yeah, I expect he'll.
He understands the shitstorm about to come his way.
I mean, I want to get that clear to anybody who's watching now and or watching the replay. Patrick understands what this show is about, and
we can find out as we bring him up. Why don't we
ask him ourselves?
Yes,
okay.
Let's bring on Mr. Epistemon as soon as humanly possible. Don't clap, Steve.
Well, you're supposed
this might be an atrocious horror show.
It probably will be. It usually is.
Don't jump the gun. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. And if I can come up with any other
we should have had like a
bullshit cliches. Yeah, we don't have a phone.
Kind of.
Like a fake sound effect type?
Yeah, no, but we should have had a sound. Yeah.
No.
To get him on the show.
That's cheesy.
Like waiting music? Is that what we need?
Yeah, like a ringing phone. Like, this is the Fortean Slip hotline.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome to the show.
We don't do that.
Like Steve did.
We don't have
episode 3-4.
I did?
4. Yeah, 4.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I've done so many of them now.
I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone what I did in episode 34.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Oh, I think we got Patrick now.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't hear anything, Steve.
Maybe we have to school him on how to
Patrick, you are live. State that for the record.
We
don't
live.
Hear anything.
Yes, sir.
Do not say fuck or bugger.
Yes.
Okay.
I do believe we can hear you now. You can say fuck or booger.
You can say anything you want on this show. That's what the beauty of this show is you're allowed to say whatever you want.
Like the show when you went off on people trying to tell you to clean up your language.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We were spewing hate speech because we said the word fuck. I found that to be rather adorable.
Yeah. Did you happen to listen to last week's show, Patrick? So you know where we're coming from?
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
made it about halfway.
Just wanted to know.
I have. Yeah.
So you
Lost me.
what was that? You broke up a little bit, Patrick.
Oh, when you started talking about Bill Riley and Alex Jones, you lost me a little bit. But yes, up to that point, it was entertaining.
We lost him at Bill O'Reilly and Alex Jones. Don't take any offense to this. I'm baffled because of who you tend to follow. that we lost you at Bill O'Reilly and Alex Jones, but I don't know a whole lot about you. Richard had pitched the idea of having you on the show. He kind of gave me a vague idea, and when I say vague, I mean like this is who he is, sort of breakdown. So if you would, let us know exactly where you're coming from on this subject.
Oh, well, not to bore you, but if we could back up just a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, some 4 years ago, when I moved back up in the Northwest, I started going to Dr. Johnson's meetings because they were the only Bigfoot meetings in the area. I don't call him Dr. Johnson. I call him Matt. And so we just struck up a friendship.
I just call him the cunt.
And so part of the realize you got to understand that when it comes to me and Matt, human face-to-face level before any of this started. So anyway, so I just got to know him. I got to know a lot of the other Bigfoot people and squatchers in the area, not just Dr. Johnson, but that was kind of the place where we all met. And I don't know, 3 years ago, I got on the message boards and somehow
his connection.
What are you on, fucking dial-up or something? Holy shit!
Yeah, your connection is horrible.
Yeah, it's not great. I apologize.
Yeah, so Richard, to back up to what I said to you earlier, we should have had him call in on a phone.
Can you still do that in a hangout?
I don't know if you still can or not.
Used to be able to.
I'd have to look. I think you might be able to call one person in or have one person call in. You can't have as many call in as you used to be able to. Yeah. Excuse me while I scratch my balls. So you continue, but yeah, your connection's a little shitty, so we may have to have you back up, every so often.
Okay, no worries.
So you started, hanging out with the people who camp out in the woods and drink. In my experience,
I met a lot of people at these meetings. I mean, I met Derek Randalls. I met Barb Shoup. I met Scott Taylor. It's just a whole crowd of people all went to the same meetings.
Uh-huh. Wait, Derek Randalls went to Dr. Matt's meetings?
Long time ago. This is before really the woo stuff. But yeah, one of the first meetings I went to, Derek Randalls spoke.
Okay.
Bigfoot's just a hobby, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we made that clear.
I'm very
a lot of water under the bridge after that.
Yeah. Right. So where would you say you lie now? The only reason I ask this is because my description, the description given to me of you was that you are one of Johnson's lieutenants.
That started because when I went on, the Facebook groups, what do you guys want to know? I was pretty. They just pigeonholed me into this, follower thing, and Matt are good friends. It's kind of entertaining.
All right, I'm gonna see if maybe we can call him in.
Yeah, you're breaking up like crazy.
Yeah.
While we're doing that,
no, I can't actually, Steve.
Can't?
No.
Fucker.
Isn't that a bitch?
Mm-hmm.
It's all your fault, Richard.
So, Patrick, do you have any official capacity in Dr. Johnson's organization or whatever you call it? I'd say no, I guess.
Uh,
What the fuck?
Yeah, this may not
There we go.
You can adjust the bandwidth settings at the top to audio only.
Well, he doesn't even have video anyway.
Yeah, but his bandwidth might still be.
But you guys have video.
Yeah, we have video.
So if you go to the top with the adjust bandwidth usage and put it all the way to the bottom, that might help.
Well, can you hear what Patrick's saying?
Well, now, no.
Well, he's not talking now, dipshit.
Well, I could. Well, I'm just. I could when he wasn't breaking up, but if you limit the bandwidth so it doesn't show Chris and Steve's video, that might help.
If he limits the bandwidth, it won't matter on our end, I don't think.
No, but for him, his computer won't be downloading your video as well.
Right. So if you go to the top there, Patrick, if you hover over it, it'll have that little bandwidth, the camera, the microphone, all that. The one that's the bars, if you just put that all the way to the bottom, hover over that, and then you can put the bandwidth all the way down.
That might help.
Might.
We're hoping.
Yeah. So your prediction, Chris, on a shit show is pretty close.
Well, you know, I can call these things pretty well.
So, are we good now? Or,
So I've got it down to very low. Does that help at all?
It might.
It seems like it might be. So we'll back it up just a little bit. So you went out and started hanging out with a bunch of squatchers in the Northwest. Correct?
There was always a
Yeah.
Yep. This ain't gonna work. Fuck it. Oh, that is true. I think that the Men in Black, aka the Sasquatch people, forest people, have gone somehow into Patrick's settings and fucked with him. And now it's Zorth. Zorth is just pissed off that Patrick even decided to come on this show and shut him down.
You think that's?
I think that's what happened. I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh.
I really want to do this show.
I do too, Steve. But I can't find out how to add someone into the hangout through a phone call. So, unfortunately.
Well, being that, you know, he's probably interdimensionally chatting with us somehow through the power of the portal.
Have you got it set
up there somewhere
to very low or audio only? Patrick.
He's gone. We killed him. I think we killed him.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, whatever.
I think he's still here. I think his connection's horrid.
You know, AOL went out of business like in 1973.
Hold on, Steve. He's trying to speak. You have a horror.
Yeah.
You sound good right now, but it depends on, like, because the last time I asked you a question, then there was this huge pause when you weren't saying anything, and then it came in.
Yeah, okay, I moved building. I picked up my laptop and completely went to a different building and hooked up to a different network.
Better.
Oh, okay.
Much better.
Yes. Okay. So maybe we can do this show, Steve.
I think so. I think we're good to go. Ignore all that shit from before. Let's start the show.
I'm sorry. All right. So you want to know how I got involved?
Yeah, that new network really helps a lot.
Wait, cloned him.
Oh my God, Zorth has made 2 Patricks now.
It cloned him. It knocked him out and pulled him back in. So.
He was sounding better.
You know, next time, Patrick, you come on our show, stay away from the portal.
What happened?
I mean, it's fucking with you. You're back.
Doing okay again?
The hangout kicked you out and then brought you back in. I don't know what happened.
So
It's probably because you switch networks.
So for the third time now, let's hear about how you got into squatching.
Well, I got into squatching a long time ago, but I think what you guys want to know, because obviously it's going to be dominated by Johnson talk.
Well, we love talking about Johnson.
I like to talk about my Johnson.
And doctors in the Northwest. So anyway.
So 4 years ago or so when I came back.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So these guys built this interdimensional porthole device that pulls Sasquatches through a porthole, but they can't get a good internet connection. What the hell?
What the fuck? It was sounding perfect, and they just jumped out again.
Let me just, I'll pretend to be Patrick for a while.
Jesus Christ.
Richard's connected to us from fucking the medieval portion of the world.
That's
and
right.
Somehow
I'm in my castle.
His connection's clearer.
I'm telling you, this has something to do with we shouldn't know the information that we're about to hear, and somebody's trying to shut it down.
It does seem like that way, because he's cutting out just when he's about to talk about his experience with Derek Randall's and everything. It does seem like a Men in Black thing.
We're not even going to get orb people at this rate.
All right. So let's try one last time. You went and you hung out with Derek Randall's. What happened next?
Derek just was a speaker at one of the early conferences, early meetings.
Okay,
we got that.
So I think really what we want to know is, how did you connect up with this whole portal deal, with Johnson, and where did you come into this story? Because I first saw you in, I think, the coalition group speaking, and you weren't really committed to it at that time. I don't know. I've kind of been out of the scene for a while, but now you seem to be like fully committed to this whole fucking portal deal and shit. So where did that come in?
Well, I don't know if that's correct. I mean, people like to make stuff up about other people, and I did live cast the portal thing. I mean, it's like anything else in the Bigfoot world. People say they're witness to a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
People say they're witness to a dogman. People say they're witness to a portal. I mean, what do you do? I mean, you respect their experience, and you say, well, I respect your experience. It's not been my experience, but all right, let's move on.
Okay, that's the end then. Let's go.
Great show. I'd like to thank Patrick Epistemon for joining us.
So you're like, to me, it sounds, Patrick, like, it depends on
the kind of thing with me. Listen, Matt's a friend of mine,
right?
And I do support Matt, and I really have no reason to believe that Matt's lying to me.
I have every reason to believe it.
I mean, the basic story is pretty out there, and I've had a lot of conversations with Matt about, hey, listen, I mean, I know you're frustrated that people won't just take your word on this stuff. Understand that just your word on this level of stuff is probably not going to be enough for most people. They're going to have to go out and experience it themselves. And that's kind of what I've always tried to do, is it's like, okay, hey, let's go out and sleep in the woods and do similar things and see if I can get the same results.
Okay. So you've been on some of these trips with Johnson, yes?
Twice.
Okay. What have you seen?
Did he touch you in a familiar fashion?
What have you seen that would support anything that he's saying? What evidence have you seen of portals, of interdimensional Bigfoot travelers, of 23,000 Bigfoot turning into orbs? What have you seen any of that?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
What's that?
I've seen real traditional Bigfoot signs, the glyphing type stuff. I've seen some prints out there, but as far as anything portals, I haven't seen it. Now, I went to the interim Soya, the one where he left because of the nasty note he was left, and then I was just up there Wednesday. There were a bunch of us up there.
Soya.
There was an interim? Oh, wow.
Call it the interim Soya. He left Soha. He went to what I call the interim Soya. It was the first place, and he camped up there for a while. I was passing through, coming back from Arizona, and he offered to take me using the site, and they left a nasty watching you, that sort of stuff. So he moved on to his current location.
Uh-huh.
So somebody invaded the interim Soya and left a nasty note threatening, or basically saying they're keeping an eye on the good doctor. Did you see the note?
Yeah, he passed it around and showed it to everybody.
Okay.
When he saw it.
I mean, that's solid
Go
evidence.
back up there.
Something. I mean,
And then the
a
teacher
note
told
is
him that he
solid
was going to
evidence.
have to stay after class for passing notes.
Yeah.
I don't disbelieve there was a note. I know a lot of people
Right.
are.
But my point is that is solid evidence that somebody was there, and so we know something happened. But there is no solid evidence of any of this other stuff, and that's what gets me. I mean,
I think you're forgetting, Steve, the 3-foot turd.
Come on. Okay. Now here's what I don't get, and I'm going to
The 3-foot turd.
Here's what I don't get, Patrick. You're a friend of You're a friend of the good doctor, right? You hang out with him. You know more about him than obviously I do. I've never met the guy, but my God. I mean, you gotta understand from somebody who has never met him, and looks like to people who, I mean, he's fucking nuts. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, to somebody who's never met him and who just sees what he puts out on YouTube and Facebook. I mean, the guy just. And then he wants you to take his word for it. I'm not going to take somebody's word for that kind of crap,
Well, I wouldn't expect you to,
But then,
back to somebody from the outside is when somebody's talking about portals and stuff is not going to think they're nuts. I mean, 20 years ago, just saying that you'd seen a Bigfoot, somebody would say you're nuts. So, hey,
people still say that.
Yeah, exactly. So, from my perspective, it's kind of like to study unicorns, but, don't tell me it's a pink unicorn, and certainly don't tell me that the unicorn's jumping out of portals because, oh my God, you're ruining the research of unicorns, man. I mean, really.
Well, I think we all ruined the research of Bigfoots. So it's not just Dr. Johnson. It's pretty much collectively the entire Bigfoot community that's ruined it. But
no, Steve.
I would say that the movie Legend ruined the research into unicorns.
I think so.
I think you got
Kelly. Sure,
that's an excellent point.
You said earlier. Go ahead.
We're
done.
No, Steve.
You said earlier that
welcome
Dr.
to the
Johnson,
most unprofessional podcast on the internet.
Well, I think a lot of it.
Thank you for joining us.
Patrick's internet connection isn't good, and so we're screwed up. But you said earlier that Dr. Johnson expects people to believe him.
I'm just going to have to defend Patrick here. It doesn't matter how bad the internet connection is. This show's never.
Well, that's okay. So,
hey, go ahead, Steve.
I want to know more about the big reveal at the conference, because obviously there's a lot of things flying around.
Did a zipper unzip when this big reveal happened?
It was a different kind of Johnson, I think.
Oh,
yeah, not that Johnson. we've all heard what allegedly happened. Obviously, the professional film crew hasn't finished editing or whatever. I haven't seen any of that yet. So we haven't heard it from Johnson's mouth, but you were there. So I just want to see if I'm on the right page here.
Well, you got to realize too.
Johnson's-
I had a 9-month head start on this on everybody too.
Right.
I heard it. I went over to Matt's house and got the story about 2 days after it happened. Had about a 4-hour sit down to. So that's one of the reasons why so many people were kind of calm when he was talking about it, because it was.
So okay, and
when
there was a
Patrick had
lot
his
of
sit down with Dr. Johnson, he went, "And you'll be Mr. Pink."
So obviously you had the head start, and there were some leaks, so we kind of knew ahead of time. We didn't obviously reveal it because that's not what we do, because obviously Dr. Johnson wanted to reveal that at the conference, but everybody in the fucking community knew.
No.
What?
We didn't
No,
reveal
what?
it because everyone would think we were fucking nuts. Okay? That's why
Well,
I
yeah,
didn't
they would
reveal
have thought
it.
we were making it up, right? But
that never
partly-
stopped you before.
Well, we are fucking nuts, but we're fucking nuts in a different way, a more sane way, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so there was a lot of leaks. So everybody kind of knew what the big reveal was before the big reveal came. But I wanted to just kind of briefly go over my understanding of what the reveal was. So we have Bigfoot's on another planet, or whatever they are.
Wait a minute, Steve.
What?
Steve, I need to get primed before
All
you
right,
go on this.
You go ahead and get primed. All right, so the Bigfoots are on this other planet. Is there a name for the planet?
Not that I've ever heard.
Xanadu.
Okay, so we don't know the name. Is Zorth the leader of the Bigfoot people? Like the god of the Bigfoot people, or is just the one that communicates with Dr. Johnson?
That's, as I understand it, yes.
He's the leader.
No. He's not the god, Steve. He's the Viscount.
The what?
Like Viscount, only Viscount.
So as
Whatever.
Matt talks about it, okay.
Wait. No. Hold on, Patrick. I would like you to stop for a minute so that Richard can sit in that fucking bomb he just threw.
I thought it was funny. I'm not going to apologize.
Where I'm going with this is, this is my understanding of what happened. There is a planet that the Bigfoot people, or whatever they are on. Zorth communicated with Dr. Johnson that planet is going to be destroyed or cease to exist in some way or another. So the portal was created somehow, and Dr. Johnson had to build somebody helped Dr. Johnson, obviously, because he's not a mechanic or an engineer or anything, but build a device to suck these people.
This is where I was okay. The kind of the minutia changes there is apparently the machine doesn't.
We'll just go with my story since we can't hear him.
No, the machine doesn't control the portal. It just stabilizes it.
No,
right,
it doesn't even stabilize it. What it does is it allows the entities, whatever they are, to energize, for lack of a better word, so that they can pass through the portal.
Oh, well, now you say it like that. It makes
the portal
perfect sense.
themselves.
Oh, well, there we go.
As they apparently draw energy from the trees during the day and energize, this machine gives out some sort of field, travel back and forth. So at least you got the story right.
Well, so the basic story is what we've heard. Then I just wanted to.
Can we expect Dr. Johnson to put on a Navy outfit, get a boat, and evade taxes for years?
I want to know when the wall's going up around the portal, and if the Bigfoot are going to pay for it.
The wall.
See.
Well, I am expecting ice agents to show up. Up at Soya.
Damn straight they should. I mean, Johnson is a stalwart supporter of Trump, and he has allowed the immigration of 23,000 illegal, undocumented workers into the United States of America.
This is Oregon. Oregon is a sanctuary state. Okay. So the local officials are not cooperating. So
see, Patrick's been thinking about that answer for a while. You can tell.
Oh, I just
You listened to our last show, remember?
I like the jokes. The immigration jokes are great.
You gotta. I mean, I'm worried about Dr. Johnson, honestly, and I'm worried about the people that follow him, because, as you've said, Patrick, you've been there. You haven't seen any activity, portal activity, or any of this. Zorth hasn't mind spoke to you, that kind of thing. I mean, you got to understand why we think this is cult-like. You know, I mean, Bigfoot can heal people, all this shit. I mean, it's got a really religious aspect to it, and it's scary.
I can see from the outside. I can see from the outside where you can it presents itself that way, and this, and that's why it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't get my goat when people talk about it. From the inside, I don't see any sort of cult behavior. I mean, we razz him, we give him a bad time. It's not really like that. I do worry, and I will tell you, I mean, I've shared this with Matt too, that if he plays up the healing thing, that he's going to have just people knocking on his door left and right, expecting miracles. And you're right.
I think he's had people. I think he's had people request to come up there to be healed, and that bothers me a lot. And it also bothers me because I know
that Bigfoot had cured cancer.
Yes. It scares me that people want to go be touched by a hairy man in the forest. It scares me.
But you got to understand why we think that.
Wait a minute. Why does he have to touch my vagina?
I mean, look at the Heaven's Gate cult. It started out in a very similar manner, and obviously that ended bad. But the other thing that concerns me is, and people tell me that I'm just making up shit every time I say this, but when he was at Soha, I guess that's what you called that damn place, but he said, "Oh, there's no other forest animals here," all that bullshit. He had on video bear in there. I mean, somebody's going to get hurt because they're going to buy into this shit that there's no, other kind of forest animals there, and they're clearly there. Clearly.
Steve looked into it, because I looked into it. I spent a lot of time in the forest all by myself, like, half mile away from the roads. And I do some things, as far as smells and put some stuff out to keep the animals away. But if you really look into it, in that area, we have black bears. And I think last year, 3 people were killed by black bears and 90 people were killed by lightning. So,
I'm not saying necessarily killed. But you guys, and maybe not you, Patrick, but Dr. Johnson I don't know if he still does it, because I haven't paid that much attention lately, to be honest. But putting food out, and obviously he believes, and everybody that goes up there believes, that this food is there for the Bigfoot. But obviously we don't have any evidence that a Bigfoot has ever touched that. So you're attracting whatever kind of wild animal is in that area. And that can be a very dangerous situation. Now let's assume for a second that Johnson's correct about what he's doing in his area, and it is Bigfoot taking the food out of that bowl. So now I want to copy Dr. Johnson here in Ohio. So I go do that, and I sit out in the woods and put a gifting bowl out, and a big fucking black bear comes by and wants to eat my peanut butter sandwich, and I don't have that peanut butter sandwich that time because, I didn't bring it with me, because I'm habituating whatever the fuck is out there. That's what concerns me.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
On a camp out, 15 feet away from their cars. And yeah, it's really no more dangerous than somebody leaving food out on a table at a camp out.
Yeah, but when I camp out, you tie your food into a tree a certain amount away from the camp. You do you take all those precautions because that's what I learned. But that's not what he's teaching people. He's not saying, "Oh, tie your food in a tree." He's saying, "Leave it out in a bowl." That kind of thing. And that bothers me more than the cult aspect.
Steve, are you telling me that Santa Claus doesn't eat the cookies?
No.
Fuck.
The black bear comes down your chimney.
Shit.
But and then you go into
Steve,
this
stuff has been disproven. Michael Merchant did a video about it. It's no different than leaving out food for birds and stuff on bird feeders.
That is not true.
In
fact,
if I leave my tooth underneath the pillow.
Yeah, Merchant and I got in a big fight over feeding birds is the same as leaving food out in the forest. Come on, that's not true.
Chris, in my house, not only does Santa take a bite out of the cookies, every reindeer takes a bite out of an apple. Okay, so
Santa Claus, you've heard it from Patrick Epistemon.
Yes,
that's a pseudonym, isn't it? By the way, because I call you Professor. No, never mind. I won't do it.
Proceed out.
Professor Peacock. That's what I call you. Right. I just think it's cool. Yeah. So anyway, now I think those of us who obviously we're very critical of Dr. Johnson and anybody who follows him and does the same sort of practices, because in most states and most places it's illegal to leave food out in the forest, whether you're sitting there watching it or not. It's just not something you're supposed to do. In fact, most game commissions have pamphlets about that sort of thing. So that to me is something,
now you're within Oregon and Washington, you can't, there's certain things you can't bait, but leaving food out, I mean, basically.
Is it smart, Patrick, to leave food out?
Breaking the law.
Is it smart? I don't care if it's breaking the law, to be honest with you. Is it smart to leave food out for wild animals while you're camping in the same area? Yes or no?
I do it now because I love to watch the Blue Jays in the morning eat all the bread products. Every morning, a whole murder of either crows or Blue Jays eat it.
So we're not going to get anywhere.
Again, all I can go back. No, you're not really going to get anywhere because it's just kind of a false fear. I mean, it's just when you're talking about black bears, cougars, and wolves, which are the only ones that would be danger up here. Okay. I mean, do you want to leave rotting meat out there for days on end and be quietly? No. Who does?
Some people do. I mean, look, Dyer left out pork chops.
I understand Ron left out meat and the Bigfoots buried it once, but
yeah, whatever. But I don't know. I just think it's bad practice because people to habituate. That means you are teaching people to habituate Bigfoot, right? Not you particularly, but Johnson and people like Johnson are teaching people to habituate. That means to draw in whatever it is you're trying to draw in. Well, you're habituating everything else in that area too. So if there are bear and there are wolves and there are coyotes or whatever might harm you, you're habituating them as well.
Yeah, and the real danger is not to the humans, it's to the bears, because you habituate the bears.
Really? Have you seen a documentary called fucking Grizzly Man?
Maybe Grizzly Man, but not fucking Grizzly.
He fucking deserved that. All right, he deserved that so bad.
I'm just saying. Okay, we can get off.
He was habituating around bears.
He was
kneeling down in front of grizzly bears and saying, "I love you." He deserved to be eating.
I get concerned about that sort of thing. Now we can go off that subject. I know that's a dead horse, but I'm just saying. I mean, that's where I stand on that. And
I'd like to get to the more poignant fucking question. So these things are. I don't understand this whole process because they were Bigfoot and now they're orbs and they come through portals and they become trees. Correct? This is the no, I'm wrong on that.
They're beings of.
You're basically right. I mean, they're beings of light, and then when they become orbs, they have a symbiotic relationship with the trees. That during the day they use the photosynthesis or something like that to re-energize.
They're like reverse were trees.
This kind of fucked up, Richard.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, nobody's saying they're trees. That's the whole thing. It's just that they have a symbiotic relationship with the trees, and somehow they draw energy.
Well, that's what I was.
Under the.
How it's being explained.
Do you know if Johnson told Merchant the great reveal back when he told you? That's an important question.
I can't say that for sure. I know when Michael started talking about it, and say, what did you tell him? What did you tell him? Because he's talking, and understood that Matt and Mike had talked, but I can't say that for sure. But Michael's saying they're trees. He's saying they're ants. That so it's a different thing.
Yeah, no, it is. I wondered if one might be inspired the other.
Merchant is now basically claiming that Johnson stole the idea from him. If you listen to his latest video and his latest Facebook poster, maybe it was believe that maybe they didn't talk because they're not talking the same thing. I mean, the only thing similar is they're talking about trees. Michael's saying that they are trees, that they're like were trees, that they can become trees and become Bigfoots. Matt's saying that they're beings of light that enter trees and have a symbiotic relationship with them to gather energy. So the fact that they're both talking trees, they're talking apples and oranges. So I don't know. So they don't fight it out. They don't become trees. They just like enter into the tree. Is that what you're saying?
That makes sense. Well, more sense.
I'm not sure that it makes any sense at all either way.
Well, if they symbiotically attach to trees, it makes more sense than they turn into trees.
Right. Now,
I thought they were Bigfoot.
It seems like a lot of people, Adam Davies, Michael Merchant,
Bitch Lips?
And a bunch of others have kind of jumped ship lately. Is that because they no longer believe Johnson? I know Davies has had issues since the portal incident, but like Merchant and a bunch of others have jumped ship. Is that because they no longer believe, or they just think that? I don't know.
Merchant
okay, so I've got a question for you guys. Maybe you guys can explain this to me, because I've never met Adam Davies, so I don't know him personally. But as I understand it, he's like a world-renowned traveler, explorer of the paranormal. Is that correct?
Supposedly, yeah.
He's like the Indiana Jones of cryptozoology.
So if I was the Indiana Jones of cryptozoology and I went up to a location and found a portal, wouldn't that be kind of like finding the holy grail of what you've been trying to find your entire career?
Yeah, pretty much.
Matt Knapp is in the chat, and he wants
hold on. Shut the fuck up.
Matt Knapp is coming in.
This.
But anyway, so Patrick, not all of us here are fans of Adam Davies anyway. Some of us are, I think, but not all of us. So whatever, to us, it's neither here nor there what Davies thinks, or Merchant for that matter. I just wondered why everybody seems to be jumping ship and making, making statements both before and now after the reveal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by special guest, Matt Knapp.
Take it away, Matt.
Are you guys trying to trick me, etc.? What's going on here?
What's going on here?
What kind of delay are we working with, first off?
Oh, no, you're right on, man.
Okay, wait. So, Patrick, you believe Dr. Johnson?
I don't have any reason to believe he's lying to me. But I
believe in so everything you say is fucking moot from this point on, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Matt Knapp, ladies and gentlemen.
I would say I could tear this logic apart, but there's no logic anywhere in this. I mean, this is like a really bad, like, teen sci-fi movie or something. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Dr. Johnson just spent the last 10 years feeding Bigfoot fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and now they gather their energy from trees? Which one is it, man? Do they eat the sandwiches, or do they have to gather it from trees?
That was going to be my
form
next
of energy
question.
do they use? Because you eat stuff to get energy, right? That's how science works.
I want everybody to know Matt's been in the chat room like steaming for the past
Oh my God.
20 minutes.
since the last show. Since the last show, I ran across it, and I was like, if this wasn't coming from Steve Alcorn's mouth, I wouldn't fucking believe it.
No, what came out of my mouth that you
The big reveal, the leaking of the reveal and everything, and
so you hadn't heard what the reveal was prior to that?
All I knew was Johnson is trying to sell his book. That's all I knew.
Okay.
Oh, I would have told you, man. Sorry.
The big reveal is, in fact, pretty much. I mean, we had it pretty close to what it was. I mean, maybe not 100%, but according to Patrick, we were
the
close.
entire Bigfoot species from another planet.
Yeah, through a portal.
I don't think
with
the
a
real
device.
danger is attracting bears into the location. I think the real danger is this guy gives advice to families and children. I think that's the real danger.
And I've
doesn't
spoken.
anymore.
Well, I've spoken about that before too. But I don't think he's practicing anymore, is he, Patrick?
He's practicing. I'm not sure exactly where he's working at the moment. He had a private practice for a while, and then he went to work for somebody in Oregon.
Does he reveal to his patients that his
Okay.
I'm just. I want to know that.
I don't think it's a secret at this point. I don't think he can hide it. I know he's been passed over for some jobs, and it has caused him some pain as far as finding employment.
I mean, no, obviously.
Well, how would you trust? I mean, if you're going to somebody for advice on your life and how to raise your family, how could you trust somebody that you know is a habitual liar and tries to defraud hundreds of thousands of people a day by getting on the internet and doing this shit?
Allegedly.
No, it's not
It's
allegedly.
only 10,000.
No. It's not allegedly.
See, Matt,
It's not allegedly. So if I can't prove that there's not leprechauns, then there are leprechauns? No, that's not the way it works. Like, I don't have to prove there's a fucking unicorn.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're claiming that there's a unicorn, you should have some sort of proof. And I think that's the same with Johnson. There should be some sort of proof if you're going to make the claim.
Proof of what? He just changed his entire 10-year story. He spent a decade creating a narrative that he completely destroyed with this story.
I have to agree.
It takes away everything that he's been claiming.
Up until last year, Patrick, Dr. Johnson claimed, he's habituating the Bigfoot, and there was no talk of portals. There was no talk of symbiotic relationships with trees, none of that stuff. Obviously, I know his claim is that Zorth had to trust him and all this, whatever. But now we've got...
Oh, it's better than that now.
Well, before Johnson, we had Bigfoot sightings. I mean, it's not like Johnson created this whole thing, but he's brought 23,000 new ones, or how did the other ones get here before we could stabilize the portal? I mean, none of this makes any sense at all.
Without a big chunk of the story, Steve. Okay, Zorth
did I leave out the
original
crying part?
Bigfoot.
He was?
Yeah, Zorth was the Bigfoot Matt saw now on the mountain, the original story.
Matt Nass?
The original story.
So which fucking Bigfoot did I see? Years before Matt Johnson.
Zorth as well, I guess.
And Patty is
Gets
also
around.
Zorth. Patty is Zorth. The only Bigfoot anybody sees, regardless of color, size, age, or anything, is fucking Zorth.
No.
That's it.
Well, not now.
Patty was not Zorth. Patty deliberately decloaked so Gimlin and Patterson could film her so that they could make the world aware of Bigfoot, according to Johnson's book.
But the world was aware of Bigfoot before Patty.
But how does this tie in with ancient alien monkey men who time travel?
Robot.
It's all bullshit.
Can I just
It's
say
called fiction.
that I gave you that topic as a joke, and it is a testament to your podcasting skills that you made that into an entire show, Chris.
Entire show.
Yeah. I talked for an hour about fucking ancient alien
Traveling
fucking...
ancient monkeys.
We made him robotic, though.
Yeah, no, I know. You went off topic there. Was not happy.
Hey, listen, I can go where I want with
Well,
this shit.
see, our claims aren't any different than anybody else's. I mean, we can
Seriously.
claim magic monkey men from outer space that have robot dicks if we want to, and people should just believe us because we said it.
And buy our book.
Yes.
But I don't have a book.
But whatever you do, just be sure to buy the book.
I need to write a book.
But remember, still buy the book.
That's right.
That's the thing that's a sticking point. Apparently, Zorth told him to write the book.
Of course he did. I mean, hey man, make yourself a little cheddar on this side. You know, you're helping us out.
It did come to my attention.
Even though we've made you keep us a complete and total secret this whole time, it's okay for you to write a book and do fucking conferences and talk about us all the time.
It did come to my
It makes sense because whenever I'm trying to keep a secret, I know I put on a false narrative and talk about it all the time.
Okay, it came to my attention earlier today.
So as I understand this,
Go ahead,
so
Patrick.
by that logic, forehead, grow over crayons, everybody's just trying to make a little, chink on the side, right? So
of course
writing
they are.
a book is automatically disqualifying,
No.
No.
No, that doesn't disqualify it at all. It just goes against his own personal narrative.
It's not that he's making money that we have the problem with. It's that he's talking bullshit.
If you've listened to us, Patrick, in the past at all, you know that we're not against people making money for doing something they want to do. Like
we have constantly stated that the things that we all do on YouTube or whatever are all designed to make money.
Not much.
Yeah, not any amount of fucking money.
I do not get paid to do this podcast. Let's put it that way. I would love
We've
to.
all said
but
that we'd never sell out because we never sold it.
People out of money by selling them bullshit on eBay.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell Bigfoot portal stabilizing devices on eBay. I wonder how it'll go over.
You just need
I
a
want to ask about
flashlight and a
portal
car
device.
battery. No. Our problem is that he's not making money off this. Our problem is that it's easy to prove that he's lying, that he keeps changing his story, and it's obviously fraud. That's our problem with it.
Well, yeah, if you're dealing with a person who's creating a story as they go, which is what he's doing, it's easy to come up with answers for everything as long as your crowd, your audience requires no proof or evidence to support any of your claims.
It did come to my attention earlier today that somebody, I think it was in the 70s or maybe 80s, had made very similar claims on Art Bell's show about portals and Bigfoots coming through them. And it seems to me that, I can't remember where I heard that.
About this type of stuff forever.
And Kwani,
Kwani, whose name isn't actually Kwani, and he's just a white guy, by the way.
Yes.
Fucking give me a break.
I
really?
mean,
Kwani lapsaritis to come on, dude. Seriously?
I certainly wouldn't want to associate myself with Kwani at all. I wouldn't even want my story to be
happen to use his expertise to land a wife that's like 1/3 his age. Imagine that. I'm sure it's true love.
No, I mean, I wasn't trying to support Kwani. You were just saying that somebody had been talking about portals and this type of thing previously. I was just, Kwani's talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah,
Kwani's
I'm not saying that Kwani proves Matt or Matt proves Kwani or any of that type of stuff. I'm just saying, it's not really, it's been out there before, and there's other people who have talked about it too.
Okay, yeah, and those 4 people versus the other 99.98% that say differently, we should just believe them instead.
Well, leap of faith,
Because
I challenge you to think of just about every Bigfoot book that's out there. As far as your qualifications for evidence. I mean, really, how many Bigfoot books out there have backed their stuff up with hard, concrete, unquestionable?
I can answer that question. 0.
There you go.
Okay, but how many of those books at least stayed in the realm of physical possibility on this planet, according to science?
3.
Yeah,
I mean, mammals. Okay, they have hair.
One.
They eat. They've been seen with young ones.
Oh.
Pretty much certain that makes them a primate, just by observation. They've got the right parts and everything, anyways.
aside from
So
Kalani,
why would they be able to do things that nothing else on this planet can do?
because
Well,
they're from
they're not
another
from
planet, Matt.
This planet. That's where you're going wrong, Matt. They're from there.
Then why do they have the same physical features as other mammals on this planet? Why do they look
Because-
just like a fucking primate?
Are they shapeshifters?
Because the ancient alien theorists are right, Matt. We are the aliens.
We are the aliens.
Patrick, are they in fact allegedly, according to Dr. Johnson, shapeshifters or no?
Yes, as I understand it, Matt's saying there's
Okay.
shapeshifters. That there's beings of light that can appear in
So-
different forms.
So why do they
Now,
take on that particular form?
How long did he spend telling everybody that Ed Waterman was full of shit? And now he's saying that Ed Waterman's right.
Oh.
So Ed Waterman claims the same.
Boy, you guys are on a roll, man. You go from Kawani to Ed Waterman. Who are we gonna reference?
Well, Dr. Johnson had like a year-long feud with Ed Waterman over whether they could shapeshift or not. And Matthew Johnson actually said, no, Ed Waterman's wrong. He's lying. And now
Yeah,
he's
but
saying the opposite. So he
Zork-
owes Ed Waterman an apology.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh, God, to find yourself in a position where you owe Ed Waterman an apology.
Oh my God, Ed Waterman's not quite as dangerous as what I think Dr. Johnson is, but
It depends if you're a woman or not.
yeah, if you're a woman, I wouldn't want to be anything like that. But he's just as
Allegedly.
nuts in my mind. He's off the deep end. That guy, holy hell.
And we've got like 5 weeks till his great reveal now.
Yeah, see, it's just it seems to me that now you got Merchant jumping ship because now Johnson's stealing all the fucking spotlight. So now Merchant's got it.
Who?
No.
Michael Merchant.
No, that's not
Jumping
the
ship.
reason Merchant's jumping ship. Merchant's jumping ship
Well, why is Merchant jumping ship?
because he's trying to get in with Utah Sasquatch. He's trying to get in with Todd Standing so they can all get a TV show on Les Strauss TV network.
Yeah, I think that most everything that Merchant does is geared towards that.
Do you know that Kelly Shaw got his own
it's
show?
just-
Who?
Is that allowed to be revealed? Are we allowed to say that on the show? I mean, well,
Say
I'm
what?
just
That
saying.
Kelly Shaw's a retard?
that, but allegedly
Do
he
you know-
has his own show now.
Who cares?
Apparently he's getting
Who
his own
cares?
show on the Les Stroud network.
It doesn't count as a TV show if it's on the internet, okay?
Doesn't it?
This is not a TV show.
Am I going to be able to turn on, like, TNT and see Kelly Shaw?
I hope not. I'd hate to live in that world.
Who knows? Well, when he's, who knows? I want to see Robert Kreider get his own TV show. That guy's fucking nuts too.
Yeah, that's another peg that fits.
So, Patrick, now that we've pretty much told you that we think that you're completely full of shit, I mean, I seriously, I just don't get it. Like, how, because you don't seem like you're like completely batshit crazy or anything.
Those are the ones you got to watch out for.
How you could support it?
I can support it just like I support every other witness, the Bigfoot or anybody else making, over the top claims.
Here's where I have a problem with that. Okay, because that type of thinking goes to a severe level. And I once went to a sit-down meeting for someone in my family. I'll just say someone in my family when I was very young. And this person was at a children's home, and they had her there because of statements that she had made. And when I went in for the meeting, they told me what this person had said. I had said that's not true. That didn't happen. And my mother was there, and my mother had said, that's he's right. That's not true. That didn't happen. And they said that they had to believe her. And because, that was what she saw, or what she perceived, or what she had experienced. And that bullshit, that was allowed because of how they had to perceive that. And I even looked at the guy and I said, so if this person told you that the sky was pink, you have to believe in her story that the sky is pink. And he said, we have to believe her for what she had for her experience. And that type of thinking,
well, I wouldn't disagree with
that type of thinking really fucking bothers me.
But so where you're going wrong is you don't have to believe it. There is a middle ground in there. Not everything's binary, black and white. Okay, I have talked to a lot of researchers, a lot of people that go out and talk to people that have sightings, and one of the about is at some point the person turns around and then basically says, "Now I'm not crazy, am I?" So you don't necessarily have to believe everything somebody says to respect their experience. So I go out in the woods. I'm trying to use some of Matt's techniques to see if I can replicate it. I got to give it up to Steven right now because he's going up to the vortex and trying to see if he can do the same things and see if it works or if it doesn't work. Okay.
It won't.
It
won't.
Invest time.
I'm there. I'm with you. I'm saying that you've got to respect people's opinions to a certain point in the sand. But like, dude, the line is way before someone sucked Bigfoot orb through a portal using a magnet. Okay.
Okay. So Rick Dyer says he shot a Bigfoot. Now he's changed his story, obviously. But did you believe that too? I mean, did you have to respect that too?
Is Bigfoot like Swamp Thing?
Well, I think most of those hoaxes and most of the things, eventually the truth comes out. You just got to be a little bit patient.
We've been very patient.
But the truth has come out.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's entirely up to Dr. Johnson to decide if he ever wants to say, "Oh, by the way, I was lying."
So no,
if he doesn't do that, the truth's already come out in the lack of evidence of any of his claims.
Right,
and
because
it's really easy to debunk it.
His claims don't require proof. I can say that, I saw an orb, but there's no... it doesn't require proof.
You said you saw a ceramic frog jump across the fucking room.
I did, but do I have any proof of it? Do I expect you to believe me? Just because I said it happened? No.
That's why I give you a hard time for it every time.
But I'm just saying, I can make as many claims
as
I
want,
and you can respect my claims, but they're just claims until there's some sort of solid proof. And if Johnson never provides solid proof, we can't say that he's lying because obviously he's just making the shit up. And according to you,
well, I'm with you. No. You see, I'm not respecting his opinion. I respect the experience. Okay, to me, it's a little bit of a different connotation there. And I don't think anybody expected to believe stuff just because somebody says it. I've talked to Matt about this, and I told you earlier that he understands that isn't gonna convince anybody. He tries to say, that he's taken other people up there, and that they've had similar experience, and they can
handpicked and heavily vetted other people.
Carlson and Adams say that there was a portal there, so there you go. You got some corroboration. But yeah, I mean, these are things that you have to experience yourself. Before
I question the man's judgment.
I can totally agree with that. That these are things that you're gonna only evidence is going to convince.
So when's the evidence come out? That's what I want to know. When's the actual hard evidence of any one single claim that Matt makes? I want to see hard evidence of one claim.
Yeah,
Not
what
the
would you like
orbs
for hard
necessarily.
evidence?
Not the orbs necessarily. Not the tree symbiotic people thing, tree thing.
That's
Just
how
one
you
thing.
debunk it, Steve. That right there is how you debunk it. If you believe Johnson's story that he saved 23,000 Bigfoot's lives, then they owe him. They owe him big. It wouldn't have been too much to ask for one of them to come to his conference and prove to the world that he was telling the truth.
By the way,
Oh,
Steve
silence.
did bring
What's that?
Steve did bring the Tesla machine that they used at the conference and fired it up.
The Tesla machine.
He said
Is that what it was?
based
An
off of
actual
it.
Tesla machine?
Yeah, he said it was supposed to be some sort of free energy Tesla designed machine
come
that
on.
he made for something else on Bigfoot related.
Every time somebody's ever come out with a free energy machine,
Oh, the great Danton.
what happens to free energy machines? They don't work. Not a single one has ever worked. So now we have a Tesla machine
Yeah, that's true.
that has supposedly now works and
This was
stabilizes
made by
portals
Wizard.
at the same time. I mean, come on. I mean, you
No,
got
man, I can believe that.
It could just be an
I can believe that.
It sounds Dr. Greerish.
One of history's greatest minds, they put up a rough sketch of something that he wrote down some point on the internet, and some Bigfooter was able to replicate it in his garage. I'm sure that happens all the time.
Who built
The Bigfooter, though.
Yeah, but who is he?
Steve wasn't
What's
a
he do?
Bigfooter. Steve was, he's a tinker. I'm not sure what his profession is.
tinkerer? How does
tinkerer?
Steve
But
know
he-
about all this if Steve's not a Bigfooter?
Here, I don't know how Matt and him got hooked up, but it wasn't. Steve
Because
doesn't have a
once
history. of
See, here's the deal. In research, though, you provide all that information. When you're telling the truth, you provide all that.
Yeah, it would be so easy.
You don't keep it a secret. You don't say, "Oh, Steve's this guy that's really smart, and I had him build this machine for me."
Oh, well, just because I don't know Steve's entire background, he's some form of engineer, but it doesn't mean it's being hidden. I mean, Steve got up and spoke at the conference. You'll see him whenever Matt releases his video. But
When is that?
For 1995.
when is Matt's? Is
yeah,
yeah.
he was supposed to. They had all these GoPros set up, and they're editing out, the swear words and when he repeats himself and all that type of stuff, and you
gotta look
so they've got
presentable.
different angles.
All the
Yeah, I
fuck up.
guess.
Because you have
Why?
to edit.
I thought this was supposed to be professionally done. Do you film professionally with a GoPro?
Some people.
I mean, they had a bunch of them.
Good answer on that one. So is my fucking cell phone.
I'm just wondering. I don't know who the film crew allegedly was or anything like that. I'm sure it'll be a nice video when it comes out, and I will watch it. Even though I can't stand listening to this shit anymore, I will watch it because I'm kind of vested in it. Dr. Johnson once posted.
Don't you want to
some
know what the
shit on it.
dramatic ending is for Zorth?
Yeah, I want to know what the end game here is, and I know Patrick isn't going to say even if he knows, but there's got to be an end game here. I mean, is it just to sell books? Is it to create? I don't know. It seems almost like he's trying to create his own religion. To be honest with me, or to be honest, it's so cult like, and it's I don't know. Bigfoot
Point,
can
I
heal
almost
people.
think-
I mean, come on.
Paid tours to
Honestly,
where
at
the
this point, I
23,000
think
live?
A tourist trap? That would be good.
at this point, honestly, I wouldn't be.
Yeah. Patrick's answer didn't matter anyway.
Just cut out. Oh, it's Jesus wept. It's annoying as fuck.
I don't.
No matter how you look at it, it has very religious aspects
Yes.
to it.
Matt doesn't plan things out. He's flying by the seat of his pants. He's making it up.
Yes.
You know what he wants to do with all this stuff as he goes. There's no 6 month to a year plan.
So
you're right.
So his Bigfoot experience
provably
and spoken,
and
that
and
is
his
provably
release
false.
of what these Bigfoot
He
experiences
has a
are
book.
are
That
just
doesn't
like
prove
how we do the
Fantasy
show.
Pants.
And he did
He
a
is-
conference. He planned hyping a conference a year in advance.
He's
with
making
great
a
reveal.
video that he's producing. Like, these are all planned, scheduled things that have to happen. You have to.
Yeah, well, you've never
There's
dealt
an-
with Matt.
I haven't.
He plans things to an extent, but
I haven't ever dealt with Matt Johnson.
Video.
Oh yeah, well not
And even with the
personally,
video, I
you
mean,
know,
when I
podcast.
when I live casted it, I mean, it was 2 weeks before. He says, "Hey, if you want to live cast this, I'm cool with it, but I'm gonna do mine professionally." And we didn't really think about how frustrating it would be for everybody. The fact that everything was casted except for
No. I'm sure that
No,
never
no, you didn't
crossed
think of that at all.
Johnson's mind that
He knew
people
what he was
would
doing,
want
man.
to
Come
see the
on.
great reveal. No, it was all because
Obviously.
he wanted to be professional. Come on,
No,
man.
come
Come
on.
on.
I don't believe that for a second, Patrick.
I,
That he didn't think that it would cause a problem. You know, that everything else was allowed to be, well, most everything else was allowed to be live cast except his great reveal.
Yeah,
Come
come
on.
on.
Well, that was when he told me, when he said, you know, because 2 weeks before we had a Friday meeting, and I was tinkering. I'd never done a live cast before, and after that he said, "Hey, if you want to do it, but I'm doing mine done, and so I don't want you to live cast mine." And it really didn't. I don't think it occurred how frustrating it would be. The other thing too is he was only supposed to speak for 2 hours, and the guys had given him a quote how long it would take based on 2 hours, and he went and spoke for 4. So they're like, "Yeah, this is going to take us an extra week." No, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Well, I guess I will be waiting with
Out the
bated
window.
breath.
Yeah. It is what it is.
I don't know. We're never
Yeah,
gonna come to an agreement, Patrick. Us and you and Dr. Johnson. So I don't
I
know.
can't wait to hear what the end of the story is. Like, I want to know what happens to Zorth and his photosynthesis eating tree people. Not tree people. They have a symbiotic relationship with trees.
What happened to the dead ones? That's what I want to know. Because 4 of them died.
They died.
Yeah, 3 or 4 of them died in transit.
They're beings of energy, Richard. They just go back into the universe.
The ether.
Ah,
Yeah, duh.
oh yeah,
They didn't
foolish
die.
of me to
They
ask.
just became part of.
And if you puffed some ether, you'd experience this whole thing, Richard.
They're beings of energy that require things like hair and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And
Hey, do you think
footprints.
Yeah,
do you think Patrick, you can talk to Dr. Johnson and get him on next week's show?
I've already done one interview with Johnson. That was enough.
I'm sure that he would not agree to that.
You
But Patrick, you are a good sport. I mean, you knew what you were getting
you
into.
are a good sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give
Oh, you guys have been pretty easy. I expected a lot more.
Oh, we can go farther
I really
if
did.
you really
I-
want.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's not over yet.
I mean, really, we kind of hope it ends like Waco.
I think it's going to be honest.
I was thinking Heaven's
Not
Gate.
not like Waco, more Heaven's Gate-ish, yeah.
They all drink
I
the
think that's what
Kool-Aid
it's
to
called.
jump on the portal and join.
Come on,
Bigfoot.
Patrick. You even made a joke at the conference about Kool-Aid. You put Kool-Aid out on the table and made a joke about it.
Absolutely.
And you said you didn't think anybody would drink the Kool-Aid, but they did. Oh, come on. You knew putting Kool-Aid with cups right
I
there.
thought it was going to be
Come on.
just going to be a prop, and people were walking up and down on that Kool-Aid like it was. Except for the grape, they liked the tropical punch, but they didn't like the grape. I don't know why.
What?
Patrick put
Who's
Kool-Aid in
got
a
the
passive
episode.
Kool-Aid? But I'm
When
saying
I
what is
switched
the
over
passing
to
up of the
they
grape?
quit
I mean,
drinking it.
old school grape is delicious.
Well, grape because, Zorth told them not to, apparently. The grape is not good. It's a known fact that Bigfoots don't like grape.
Is
okay.
it?
It is, because I just said it, so you have to respect that.
That's right.
Ooh, low
And
blow.
look at
I don't
this.
know.
Experience.
Steve Alcorn.
I really,
You're on fire tonight, Steve. You're like
I think
a
we're going-
steamroller of hate.
I really do think though that if Dr. Johnson has some really, really, really devoted followers. I mean, more than probably anybody else in the Bigfoot community. I mean, really devoted, and they'll believe
No,
every
I'm
single word.
gonna.
Steve, are they really devoted?
Really devoted.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to say that Utah Sasquatch's followers are more psychotic in their defense of their master than Johnson's.
You think? Well, either way.
Yeah, we got much more hate on the Utah Sasquatch.
What you got against Utah Sasquatch?
Oh, come on.
What? He
Well,
just-
apart from the
it's all common sense stuff. It's not like he's saying anything crazy.
well, he hosts the
He's
Monument Wallow thing.
He's
No, he
in it.
didn't. He just re-edited the audio.
Yeah. Okay.
I do it on every show. That doesn't make me a hoaxer.
Well, that's
Yeah,
your,
but he lied about
that's your
having video
experience. We'll
editing
respect that.
experience.
I'll
We're not
tell
gonna-
you, I don't see it like you guys do as far as, yeah, I mean, there's people that are friends of Matt that follow him and maybe should question him a little bit more than they do, but I don't see the cult following. I just don't, I know most of these people personally, and
What about what's her name? Carol? Oh my God, she's like rabid, or she used to be. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. I mean, seriously, rabidly defending everything that Johnson's ever said.
I think the whole cult thing comes into play based on so many people just believing everything that the man says without question.
Right.
Kind of like what happens in a cult.
Apparently, we have to give
yes, but
props to Tesla for being smarter than Einstein.
Okay. Props,
Einstein.
Tesla.
Okay, props Tesla. You were smarter than Einstein. There. Sorry, Patrick. Carry on.
no, I get it from the outside. The people that maybe don't follow him closely, don't know these people on a more personal level, that it could seem like a cultish. The cultish aspect I worry about would be outsiders coming in trying. They're desperate because they're terminally ill, but within it, it's. I guess it's like any set of friends. When an outsider comes in, you defend them, but within the community, we're very irreverent to Matt.
You do realize that Dr. Johnson publicly posts all this stuff, right?
Yeah,
Dr.
and
John, what?
He makes
publicly
videos and he has a website and he posts this stuff for everyone, not just a special group of followers. You just keep on saying you can see what it's like from the outside. What's this fucking inside like then?
Oh my God.
Like in the mind of the Joker? Like,
goof off.
but where is this inside that you speak of? Is there like a secret
The inside,
website
okay,
or something?
Like from people that go up camping with him, the people that meet him at the meetings, and again, I know him mostly from the internet, and I totally get people that only see him from what he's presenting from the internet. They think he's off the rocker, and he's telling a pretty big story, and I don't expect anybody to believe it on face value. But it's not the cult. It's not the danger. That it's just the hysteria you guys seem to want to create over this is just kind of.
I'm not trying to create any hysteria. I'm not trying to create any hysteria. I think I'm the first person who claimed cult a couple years ago, and I wasn't trying to create hysteria over anything. I'm just trying to say, hey, look what the fuck is going on here. This has every earmark of becoming a cult, and that was before the healing Sasquatch and all that stuff. It was the way the followers of Johnson, and maybe Utah Squatch, if you want to call it that, he'd call his followers that way, but the way his followers will defend him, I mean, basically to the death. And that's what I seen at that time. And then he brings in the religious aspect of healing, and now it's very similar. Everything he's doing is very similar to Scientology. You know, a lot of the ideas that he's presenting is similar to that. So that's why I think it's called. There's no hysteria involved in that. It's just how I see it, and that's how I'm going to call it. And I bet in the end,
well, I kind of acknowledge that from you. I kind of acknowledge.
Well, you have to, because it's my opinion and it's my experience, so you must respect it.
I do.
There you go.
I don't know. Usually honesty is defined by how one tells a story over time, and nothing in that story changes. And Matt Johnson changes his story every year. I mean, I was there, not literally there, but part of the Bigfoot world whenever he came onto it to begin with. After his sighting, he was in disbelief and hysterics and used his credentials to verify what he had seen. And he kind of got famous for it. And it seemed
that's when Bigfoot stepped out of fantasy.
he kind of got a big ego about it. And, you know, he was kind of an asshole to everybody. And so they kind of distanced themselves from him. So he went out on his own, and he didn't really get anything accomplished for the first several years. But he was trying to find answers to what he supposedly saw. And then one day he decided to go with a different story then. And
you know,
now he's getting attention and followers, and people are starting to listen to him. And it keeps on evolving. Every time it hits an obstacle, remember what happened whenever certain individuals released the location of Soha? Oh, well, I knew they were going to do that. That's why we moved them all to this other place. He always has an answer. He always has an angle to work, because he doesn't have to do anything but sit there and react to what people say.
Well, he's a trained professional. He's trained to know how to interpret certain situations because of his training as a psychologist? So he knows how the mind works, you know, and so he knows how to answer those questions. It's his job, you know. He's perfect for that position. Perfect for that kind of position because he knows what to do.
But people forget that, like, he was hoaxing stuff back when he was a flesh and blooder as well. I mean, we all remember the 900-pound owl sitting in a tree sounds he swore were Bigfoot, but were just normal animal noises. I mean, he's never been on the up and up.
I remember way back when he was a flesh and blooder, he was just as adamant that they were flesh and blood as he is now, that they aren't. You know, and he had this big, long-standing fight with Eric Altman from Pennsylvania. And, I mean, to the point where I think Eric almost quit Bigfoot at the time. It got bad. And you can go back into the forums from that time and read it. And it's the same. He was just as adamant then as he is now, that his way was the right way. Nobody else's way was right. So why was he right then? But now he's not right about that. But now he's right about this. I mean, that's where I can't buy anything the guy says because
Bigfoot coming through portals is a much better story, Steve.
Well, that's how you have to look at it, from any perspective and not just an outside perspective.
You could play devil's advocate and say it's a learning experience and he's just learning new things.
No. In fact, he basically said, if you don't believe, if you believe in the woo side of things, it wasn't called woo back then, but if you believe in a paranormal Bigfoot, you're a fucking idiot. He basically said that. Not in those words, but pretty strong words he used back in those days, you know. And it's all documented. It's all there.
And now all he uses to validate what he claims is his time, his experience. Well, newsflash, there's people there's people in this community who have spent twice the number of years as he has and reached an entirely different conclusion than him.
Are there more than
the majority?
Are there more than one kind of Bigfoot then? Maybe he's right. Maybe he's got the paranormal ones and you've seen the flesh and blood one, Matt.
but only he has had them saved through portals and gathering energy off trees.
But that would just
Maddie's saving a race. Come on now.
I mean, he's literally
Race?
one person out of a community of thousands and thousands. One person. And there's a group of people that choose to believe him over everybody else.
yeah, but no two Bigfooters can agree on anything really.
Well, except those that follow Matt Johnson believe everything he says.
But I meant like fucking field researchers. You know what I meant? The people
Well,
in
of
charge.
course. You know, at this point, if it weren't for people like Matt Knapp, I wouldn't even believe there was a fucking Bigfoot.
Oh, you mean noted researcher Matt Knapp?
Paying
And
Bigfoot
experts, according to the Washington Post.
There's a very few people in this community that I trust are telling me the truth. Very, very few. And Matt Knapp happens to be one of them. And if he tells me he saw a big, hairy fucking ape creature out in the woods, I'm going to believe him. But most other people, I'm not going to, you know, because it's been proven time and time and time and time again that most of them are full of shit. And I think that's where Matt Johnson falls in. Matt Johnson, in my opinion, falls in that full of shit category. And he's very good at it. He's a very intelligent man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he knows exactly what he's doing. But are we going to end this thing anytime soon?
I was stretching. Steve.
I got to piss, man.
I was letting you go.
Yeah.
Yes, we can end this fucking show. We've been going for like an hour and a half now.
Hey, I want
Sorry.
to be the first to thank Patrick for putting up with this bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having fun
You've
with
been a
us,
good
man.
sport, Patrick.
We can give you that. There's not.
Hey, guys.
Sorry, there's not many people that will do it.
No.
Hey, so if you don't mind me plugging my my website.
No, we mind it.
So I do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can be edited out. Go ahead.
So I put together every day a news feed where I just kind of compile everything that hits the internet for Bigfoot for the last 24 hours, and it's called the Bigfoot Portal. And yeah, so if you want to check that out every day, it's kind of so you don't have to gather it yourself. It's just all in one spot.
So like a Bigfoot evidence knockoff, is that what you
That's funny, Patrick, because I happen to run a very similar website that does a very similar thing.
I tried.
The merrier.
That's a lot of
It's okay.
fucking work.
Yeah, the more the merrier, Who cares as long as you're getting paid, right?
Yep. Hey, is your website
Still waiting to
monetized?
get paid. It is. I'm still waiting to make any money though.
Good
I'm
for you.
telling you,
Good for
switch
you.
your comments on, and you'll get loads of people coming in just to troll each other in comments.
And lots of messages from assholes.
Hey, we'll let you plug.
in
We'll let you
Willow Creek
plug.
that own bookstores.
We'll let you plug that website as long as you
Wait,
agree to put
what?
this webcast on that website every time.
Did you like that?
I do every time.
Yes, I did actually.
That was cheap.
So apparently you don't have too many viewers because we don't get a lot of watchers. Just fucking with you, man. Just fucking with you.
There.
Anyway, this has been episode 146 of the Fortean Slip. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe, check out the ForteanSlip.com and the ForteanSlip.blogspot.com will take you to the same place. Check out Mr. Matt Knapp at youtube.com/BigfootCrossroads. And of course, check out Bigfoot Evidence. Is that BigfootEvidence.blogspot.com?
Yeah, it is.
All right. I want
Thanks
to make
for
sure I get that right. Yeah, well,
Hey, I think that's the first time you've ever plugged that on this show.
in a very long time. And don't check out anything Steve does. He's full of shit and he's a shyster. And check out Richard's blog. The link is below the show. It should already be
I'm
below.
not a shyster.
Hey, I like the
I'm more of
murder
a
she wrote
shitster.
t-shirt.
Oh yeah, it's for sale.
She wrote t-shirt.
That's an original. Well, it's actually from the 90s.
You just have a thing for Angela Lansbury. You want to finger bang Angela Lansbury, don't you?
Isn't she dead? That would be sick.
No, I
That
think
would
she's
make it
still
all the much
alive.
hotter.
Anyway, thank you to Patrick Epistemon for coming on and taking the beating.
Professor
And,
Pika.
we will try to be back next week with a brand new, fresh show, not about Bigfoot.
We'll try and get Mick West.
That's right. Fucking Mick West. That's my dream. Anyway, see ya.